Starting. Yay, it says we're live, but it also says there are no viewers. But on YouTube, it says that there are lots of people waiting. So are you all there?
Yeah.
Can you see me? Matt, can you see me?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Matt. That was a little technical schmechnical. Why do we have some technical schmechnical? Well, we had technical schmechnical because when we don't have the studio computer set up for this at the moment. It's doing something completely different. And now for something completely different. And here it is. It's 10:42. So yes, I'm 12 minutes late. And this one is not this one's not a streaming mix one. This is a Q&A. Thank you, everybody. You all rock. I'm gonna pop up the chat, as they say. Pop up the chat so I can see all your comments and questions and say hello to everybody. How is everybody doing today? I know it's only 10:42. Well, not only. It's not that early, but it's 10:42 here in Los Angeles. But how? Where are you all? 122 people watching. Thank you on the gold top. Shame on me for being late. Yes, exactly. Hi, all from the UK. It's good to see you on the live stuff. What's up, says Scott. Hey, Scott. Hey, Electric Rabbit. Ben Lipstein. Hey, Warren. Hey, Mark. Hey, Richard. Gabe. Cristobal. Necro Dogs. Hello. Studio on Image. Cliff McDonald. Bob Bradish. I'm trying to get everybody. It's moving so fast. Dave Merkel. Otto. This is fantastic. So, hello, everybody. Cliff, Bob, Jürgen, Simon, Maureen. Hello, Maureen. Hope you and Jeff are doing marvelously well. Paul, Philip, Agner, Earl. Hey, Earl. Wow, Will. This is amazing. This is absolutely fantastic. Hello to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. So, as you can probably tell, I'm English. I'm British, but obviously I'm born in England, and I made that distinction because, of course, I have a lot of family that are Scottish. I have Scottish family, I have Welsh family, I have English family, and of course, on my mother's side, I have Irish family. So, never call a Scotsman British. That's probably not necessarily true, but the Scots are very, very smart people, and wow. And anyway. Moving swiftly on, to cut a long story short, this one is going to be a Q&A. Paul's very upset because the video is not clear. He says, as usual, I'm sorry. Well, Paul, basically the video is just my laptop, and as I just started off explaining at the beginning, we don't have the studio computer with the webcam and all this kind of stuff, and this is just us doing this on my laptop for the time being. And I wanted to have a Q&A conversation, and if you don't want, if the video is too upsetting, please feel free to either turn it off or watch somebody else. It's okay. So what I wanted to do was talk about business stuff and really kind of open it up to everybody, on that area. Thank you, Antonio. I appreciate it. As long as the info is clear, that's as usual, it's great. The video works okay for you, Brett. Thank you. Thanks, Michael. I really appreciate it. So how is everybody today? And I see it's just an incredible combination of people here. Mark over in Germany. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jean-Francois. I was just thinking about this week, because this week has been a bit of a crunch because, thank you, Philip, because what's happening is we're entering into Thanksgiving in America. That's why I was talking about, being from England and being from Britain, is that, we're heading into Thanksgiving here, and it's a bigger holiday, I think, in some ways in America than Christmas. Now, where I come from, Christmas is obviously a massive holiday, and it's a big deal. And, I remember being a kid and the moments, and those of you that know me well will know my story about you know, A Night at the Opera, my father buying it for me when I was 8 years old, and how that completely changed my whole view of music. You know, growing up in a household full of classical music. Ah, hello in Greece. You know, I have a massive affinity with Greece. My aunt and uncle have a house on Rhodes, and wow, it's so beautiful. Anyway, so I wanted to sort of talk about, you know, for me, it's like giving thanks is a big deal. And we will do a video, and there will be some stuff for all of you, the Academy members and non-Academy members, and everybody. Watch out for tomorrow's video. We'll be giving away some stuff for everybody, because this is really important that we give back to our community. Not just important, it's insanely important. What's great about this community, you know, with a couple of exceptions of complaints about a video, is most of the time it's really supportive, and everybody, you know, everybody does this and gathers together here purely and simply to help each other. And there's no egos. Well, most of the time. Oh, it's okay, Sean. Thanks. You can give me thanks, but it's more about this really exists because of all of you helping each other out. I am nothing without you, and I think that's very important. It has to be. We have to remind ourselves of that. You know, we're not sort of one of those. You know, I watch some of those non-music YouTube channels, and you know, you've got these guys and girls, but predominantly guys, unfortunately, and they're all just kind of like very full of themselves, and they think that, you know, that they have something really important to say. I think that what I have been blessed to do is to be able to help all of us connect, and that's the most important thing that we do. The important thing we give thanks to is to be able to connect as a community, and that's what I've been thinking about the last few days, and just how blessed we are that we've all found each other here, and that we can talk about stuff together, even if, you know, some people are disappointed with the video quality. That's just the way it is, you know. And the reason why I think I pull those kind of things up, because I think it's just indicative of what we should be doing. We should be, you know, when I go to the negative forums, I see people like pulling one little piece of something and highlighting that and trolling on it, and then missing the whole point. It would be like listening to the Beatles or listening to your favorite band, you know, where they've bounced like 15 tracks together and there's a little bit more tape hiss in there, which there is, and listening to this Beatles song and going, God, can you hear all the tape hiss? I mean, that is what trolling is like. You know what I mean? Can you hear all the tape hiss? I mean, you can literally do that, because now we live in a digital world. If you put on a Beatles song, you hear psst, and instead of going, what an amazing song, and, you know, what an incredible talent, you know, in some of these forums, it literally would be like, there's too much tape hiss. I just can't listen to the music because there's too much tape hiss. You know what I mean? It's like that's what I think that is so amazing about our community, is that we're all able to like look past that stuff. Like, we don't get that much of it. We don't get the sort of general. Paul says he likes the tape hiss, yeah. But yeah, thank you. Well, thank you, Sergio. I really appreciate it. So gratitude is really important. We'll do a video on that tomorrow, specifically talking about that. We're going to have our Fact Friday going up on Friday. We are going to be doing all of the silly kind of Black Friday deals for those of you that all that stuff. We're going to do all of this. Tape hiss is real, says Cliff. But yeah, it's that kind of world that we live in. Christian, hello. The Academy is awesome. Looking forward for a lifetime membership when this one is over. Check out the Black Friday tomorrow. King Belzy says, well trained and thanks. Vibe is everything. Who cares about tape hiss on Teen Spirit? Exactly. Too much tape hiss. Clap community is outstanding. Very thankful I found it. Warren, why are we not a fan of LA2A style compressor? I am a fan of it. I mean, it's okay. It's just I think with a lot of the older compressors, which I love, you know, the Gates style ones, you know, Retro make a really good one, LA2As, all this kind of stuff. They're great. You know, Fairchilds, these are all fantastic compressors. However, you've got to remember the attack and release times are very, very, you know, very limited in what they can do. And I think that it just restricts them to a sound, and they become less of a compressor and more of a sound. I think the 1176, as an older compressor, it's not that old, obviously, but the 1176 was the sort of birth of, yes, you can share this, Walt, you can share this. The 1176 was definitely one of those compressors that allowed us, to really, use it in so many different situations with something that's massively percussive. And as much as I love the LA2A, it doesn't work with super percussive vocals. It doesn't work with, there's certain things it just doesn't work. When you want a vocal to come forward, you need a faster attack and release time. If it's just going to sit there and squash it down and hold it down, that's absolutely fantastic, but it's not going to have that kind of ability to have this vocal kind of like just bounce in front of you. There's a sort of illusion that compressing everything will always make it better. The wonderful thing, I think, that the best thing that Pro Tools did, I think, was when they brought out clip gain. Because you'll notice if you watch the way I mix vocals on that old mixing video, no spank, says Jake, yeah. Let's have a look. See if the very first vocal mixing video I did, which is one of our more successful vocal mixing videos. There's a lot of like volume riding into compression. Now you can do all of that in Pro Tools using clip gain. I would probably 1176. I'd probably use at the end. The LA2A I would use very, very lightly, and then go into the 1176 to catch peaks, because I think it's very effective at catching huge peaks. Personally, I use a 160 or a 165 with the variable attack and release into the 1176. That's my preference, So, do you track through LA2As for smoother vocals? I mean, I have one. I just don't use it that often. I love it. What I love on the LA2A is what I do like about the LA2A is it's fantastic on percussion, because once it does compress, and if you use a lot of compression on it, it really gives like a big, fat, blobby tambourine. It's pretty amazing. Really, really impressed with it. Anyway, love the tone of LA2A, says Jake. Well, that's kind of DBX into 1176, exactly. That's really why I do it. If we can do great mixes in the box, why do we need a console then? Well, exactly. I mean, consoles to me, and I love this. I mean, the SSL here has a numerous amounts of, every channel has EQ and dynamics, which is, a gate, an expander, and a compressor. And so what that allows us to have is the ability, that has allowed us it was like, you've got to remember when the SSL came out, it came out at a time where, as much as we love knees, which sound phenomenal, you had to have, 40, 60 channels of compression available to you. You had to have racks of compressors and racks of gates and racks of expanders to be able to compete with an SSL. This is just like a game-changing console. It was absolutely huge. Really, really, really a wonderful, wonderful piece of equipment. And I think it's about workflow, Alexei. It really is. It's about who you are, how you work. There is still a difference when it comes to, plugins versus hardware, but the differences are the randomness. Now, one thing I do like about the SSL Brainworks SSL, and those of you that used it will know it, is the fact that you can select lots of random different channels. What we love quite often is the idiosyncrasies, is the wrongness. When you have a lot of channels and you might put the same source through it, there may be, I don't remember what I paid for the SSL. Can't remember. It was several tens of thousands. Had it for a long time. It's definitely paid for itself 100 times over, so it's fine. But the randomness of these channels. So if I put a 1K test tone through all 40 channels and then had it all come up, there's going to be very slight discrepancies between one channel to another. There might be some light phase cancellation. You know, there's all kinds of schnizzle that might happen. This is not an absolute. This isn't zeros and ones. This is not digital. And so what is good about that, one of the advantages in that, is that that randomizing of the sound, you know, creates wrongness. Now, when I'm working in digital, I'm continually looking for things to make it wrong, to make it feel like there is, how can I put it right? There is, you know, delays or reverbs or effects or something which sort of slightly feel skewed. And that's very difficult to do when I'm completely in digital, but not impossible. I do think the BrainWorks SSL, the way that you can do that and randomize the channels, is a huge, huge deal. And I really do believe that that's very, very useful. Hey, so we have 293 people watching. Can you hit that like button? That would be absolutely amazing. If you could hit the like button, I'd really, really appreciate it. So yeah, if you can hit that like button, that would be really, really amazing. And feel free to share. We are doing this now. We're going live to everybody outside of the Academy as well. But so for Academy members, and we're going to do a giveaway of a year's Academy membership for those that aren't already members. For Academy members, what is the one thing you want to see more of? What is the one thing you want to see more of? This is really, really important for me because we're bringing in some outside people very soon into the Academy to do more videos that have amazing resumes. I won't say who it is yet because I want to announce it properly, but somebody else who has a very popular channel is going to be doing that. So what I want to do, what I want to be able to do. Oh, thank you ever so much, Ricastus. How do you compare the 2018 Giles Martin remix of the White Album versus the original or UK mix? Well, that's a great question. I absolutely love the White Album. And not only do I love the White Album, I love the new stuff as well. Why? You might ask why. And lots of people have said that to me. Jack Douglas intimated, should we say, that that Jeff Emmerich was like, when the Sgt. Pepper one was like, why are they redoing it? Not that I think he was necessarily super negative about it. There was obviously just that side if you work on a record. Tim Palmer had the same thing happen to him. Tim Palmer, of course, mixed Pearl Jam's first record, which sold a gazillion copies. And when Brendan O'Brien remixed it and just put less delays on it, he was like, why? I mean, it exists. And I think I'm not a huge fan of Pearl Jam. I don't dislike them, but I'm not like a huge fan. I don't own all their records. But most of us here that do audio, of course, are fans of bands like the Beatles, because the Beatles challenged us as audio professionals, challenged us as engineers, as musicians, as producers and mixers. They challenged us to make music great. There's so many great quotes about that. All of the bands that we love, you know, those albums. Can you do a NTM giveaway of your course? I don't know what MTM means. Can you say that? Can you tell me what NTM means? The Nail the Mix? No, I can't give away the Nail the Mix. That's not my thing, if that's what you mean. So they challenged us. And I think, honestly, I'm happy to hear anything, you know, by artists that I love. And if it's the Beatles and it's a remix and a reimagination and I get to hear the tracks and I get to hear other stuff, I love it. It's just part of the story. Does that mean I would prefer it over the original version? Of course not. The White Album is the White Album. But I think that there is something to be said for coming back and doing it. That's my honest answer to your question. Great question. What are your thoughts on analog summing boxes like the 2-bus? Would you elevate an in-the-box mix to justify the price? Not a summing guy. I don't really get summing. One thing, all the guys that I know that went from consoles to in the box that I respect, like Mark Endert, like created summing boxes, thinking that the reason why they thought that the console sounded better to them was the separation. So they get these summing boxes, and then all of them, Mark Needham, Mark Ender, all of them quickly got rid of the summing boxes. They realized that that wasn't the differentiator. And if it was you know, the differences between channels, it was the differences between 40 to 72 channels, not 4 or 8 or even 16. So it's kind of a catch-22. I feel like for me, if you have a limited budget and you have gear to buy, front end, you know, get yourself a really, really nice vocal mic. And if you want to buy something else, you know, and on top of your, you know, this is what we tried out yesterday, by the way. So this video is coming up in a couple of weeks. We tracked a whole song through this. It's the ID44. So if this is where you live in a world like this, where you have an IO like this, and you are looking at, you know, people are telling you to use summing boxes and things like that. What I honestly would do is I would invest in front end. The mic pre's on this in particular do sound really, really good. They sound really, really good. But, you know, get something with some transformers in it. That's the reason why we made the 1173, because we wanted the 1073 sound with an 1176 compressor. The whole idea of doing this was to do that. So we really, really wanted to do those kind of things. And I'm a huge fan of the ability to get a lot of great front end stuff in. You'll probably notice when we do these streaming mixes, lots of people say to me, well, you know, this stuff is kind of mixing itself or whatever. And you got to remember, we do that whole album that we did with David, and this song we did here was done with an Audient and Lewitt microphones. So it was done super, super cheap and then mixed in a box with a pair of blue Lolas. The whole idea was to demonstrate is that you can record and mix equipment using fairly inexpensive equipment. Some of the overdubs were done just with the ID14. ID4, ID14, you know, and now we're doing stuff with the ID44. We're recording the drums with just 4 mics. So we're using Lewitt mics. We're demonstrating that it's a little bit more than just, you know, it's not always about throwing lots of money at it. It's about being strategic. So if I was to invest in anything, it wouldn't be a summing amp. It would be one really nice mic pre and compressor that maybe had a lot of coloration, like the 1173. I know it's a product that I'm involved in, but there's a reason why we did it. I felt like it was the one thing that wasn't being addressed. Otherwise, doing everything inside of a box is amazing. I don't always mix in a hybrid fashion through the console. I do 75% of the time, but 25% of the time, which is increasing on a daily basis, I'm mixing in the box, given the amount of incredible plugins there are now. But once I'm mixing in a box, I'm not summing. I'm either mixing in a box or I'm mixing hybrid through a console. I don't, and I've tried it, I don't have a massive love for summing. However, not to sound contradictory, when I have summed, I've summed through a CADAC console. Because we're on wireless, we should be able to do this. This is unusual because normally, so this, you see here, you see that down there? That's my CADAC console. It's got cables all over it because we were frantically working late last night. As you can see, we have a lot of equipment. We do a lot of stuff. So that console there is a 12-channel console from Pi Studios. It's a CADAC. And so I will sum through that. However, when I'm quote-unquote summing through it, that has a schnizzle load of character. Like, we're talking about too much character for a lot of situations. I mean, the amount of character on that is absolutely insane. I mean, it has, you know, it has so many transformers. The EQs are insane on it. They're an inductor-based EQ. For those of you that are electronics nerds out there, you'll know what I mean by inductor-based EQ. Look it up. I'm not smart enough to explain it properly, so you can look it up. But the reality is like that has a lot of sound, you know, a lot of sounds. Yeah. Yeah, Peter, I like Tome, and they do really, really great stuff. I don't know if I would be pushing so much for the for the cheap Poltex. Not a big this is a Q&A, voice of dissent, so then you should go somewhere that you said yes lapping more about gear. Well, this is actually a Q&A. If you look at the title of the video that you clicked on, it says live Q&A. Anyway, so yeah, I do like hardware stuff a lot, you know I do, but I'm a little wary of some of the cheaper Poltech clones, purely and simply just because I put them on my master bus and I smash them. You know, they're getting hit super, super hard. And with some of the cheaper stuff, just the Poltech, I'm not talking about the 1176s, because 1176s are not expensive component-wise. So you can get some incredible 1176 clones. You know, so I can stand behind those because I've heard some really good ones. But when it comes to the Poltech, just be aware, if you go and look at the Poltech from the Steve Jackson ones, the ones that are built as replicas, you'll see how much headroom they have. It's massively huge amount of headroom compared with the cheap ones. The cheap ones, the cheap ones just don't have that. So I put a pair of mastering bus on my master bus, and they're the EQM 1A3s, and then mastering ones, and they have click steps, and that's my master bus is being smashed, and they do not add distortion, or if they do, it's pleasing. You know what I mean? What's the best Poltech plugin? That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know if I have an opinion which is the best. We would have to. We did do a bit of a shootout between one of the famous Poltech plugins and a real thing, and it definitely, you know, I'm pretty noob in hardware. Is that bad? It's not bad. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's all about front end. You should be spending your money on the front end. If you're going to be mixing, you can mix in the box and get amazing results. Spend your time, your energy on getting great performances and great tones getting in. Then mixing is going to be easier. That's where you want. No, I wouldn't say that the warm audio Poltech sucks. That's not what I'm saying. I just think if you're going to go for it and you really want to move into the Poltech thing, try plugins but if you're going to stick a Poltech on your master bus, be aware that be aware that you need the headroom if you're going to print super hot. So, you know, maybe some of the cheap hardware Poltechs would be good on the front end going in, but personally, I'd be very, very wary about putting the master bus. Okay, we're going to give away a year's membership to the Academy here. So I want to know, we're talking Poltechs here. So we got onto Poltechs. Do any of you have Poltechs? And so basically, do you have a Poltech? And if so, is it just software or is it hardware? And so which software Poltech do you have and which hardware Poltech? And if you don't have either of those, either software or hardware, you can say, no, I don't have one. And you can be entered. Anybody can go. Anybody can enter. Jeff says he built a clone. Jeff's very smart. And if he built a clone, I'm sure it's absolutely amazing. Would I trust regular reviews? I don't really know. It's tough for me. It's like I'm going to grab a guitar because that's just what I do. For me, it's like, you know, I think all of us are always wary when we go to the magazines, and we all know that you know, when you buy a magazine and there's a review of the equipment, and then the next page there's an ad for the same piece of equipment. When you do that, it's it's a little difficult to read the reviews. I can only really tell you my experience of using a piece of equipment. And that's really all I can trust, is like when I get to try out this stuff. The great thing is, you know, I've worked in obviously Sunset continuously, United, East West, NRG, you know, I've worked in all of these studios. And one thing I will say, and then all over the world, in New York, most of the ones I worked in New York have all gone, Sausalito, LA, London, you name it. I've worked in all these studios. I've got to use all of this different equipment. And that's a great blessing. But I would say, Sean, we are going to do a giveaway. Yes. The 1173 giveaway will be coming up around about the Christmas time. I would say that, so as far as the review stuff is concerned, I can only go on personal opinion and people that I admire. If I like somebody's work and I think that they make great music and they tell me that they love something, then that takes it. If I read a review that tells me about technical specs, it doesn't mean anything to me personally. You know, it's a very, very difficult discussion to have, because I think that having somebody tell me extended frequency response is like, that's cool, but what does it sound like? You know what I mean? It's how does it affect what I am doing? I once saw a review on speakers, and I want to come to Matt to the UK to do a masterclass, definitely. I once saw a review on speakers, and I'm not talking about monitors here, I'm talking about guitar speakers. And they took all of these different speakers and they put, and this is where a lot of people don't agree with me, but, you know, they took a loop of a guitar part and played it through an amp and then compared all the speakers. And then they made decisions based on that. They were like, this speaker sounds too dark, this speaker sounds too bright, this sounds like this. And they made all of these decisions based on it. Okay, who here is a guitar player? Are you guitar players? Okay, so if I pick up this guitar and play a G chord, and I love this guitar. This is the Baxendale, the harmony conversion. You know, this is a beautiful guitar. This guy, Scott Baxendale, is amazing. And I use his guitar a lot in all the recordings. So you're all guitar players. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. As a guitarist, you pick up a guitar and you play a G chord. And let's just say that G chord sounds amazing. And everybody around you is like, wow, that has so much depth. That sounds amazing. Now, let's just say that the action on this guitar is absolute crap. It is the worst action of any guitar. And part of the reason why the guitar sounds good is because the action's so high that there's no buzzing, nothing. It's absolutely perfect. But as soon as you get up the neck, let's just say that guitar, not this one, this guitar is phenomenal. But let's just say that fictionary guitar had an issue with it. Does that make it a great guitar just because the review said so-and-so? This is where this is the problem. It's like if I give somebody a microphone and it sounds bright or dark or whatever, it actually changes how we perform. So this is the important thing about it. A guitar like this, for instance, not only does it sound amazing, you know, not only does it sound amazing, it sounds amazing. It also plays amazing. Some microphones are super bright, so I use them on things that are dull to bring out some air on it. Some stuff is like ribbons don't have a really high-end kind of sparkle to them. So I'll use those ribbon mics on situations where I want to control the high end. This is why you can't review something and say it's good or bad based on technical specs. They're all tools in our arsenal. And so when I want to review something, I want to review it by using it to, record. So record something, and how does it sound? That's really, really, really important. Herb says, do I believe in gain staging when recording and mixing purely in the box? When I am recording, I definitely want to get good signal to noise ratio. If something is loud, I can turn it down. If something is quiet, I can turn it up, but it has to have good signals and noise ratio. That's the most. Well, Richard, we're going to do, there's going to be a Black Friday sale of memberships. You know all that. You can tell. God bless the Black Friday. I think if somebody is in South Africa, they can still sign into BMI. If not, they can sign up for an affiliate, which works with BMI. Have them check. King Beasley says he's all about working in 48K. Am I still doing studio tours? Absolutely. More coming up. Are channel strips essential in EDM? I think a channel strip is a great tool to get a lot of things done really, really quickly. Especially on non-organic stuff like virtual instruments. That's really, really cool. The reason why we find, that's the reason why we use on organic things like vocals and stuff like that will change the placement of our EQ and compressors and de-essing. So by doing that, you'll find that you'll find that for virtual instruments, you don't need that. You definitely don't need that. So yes, I think for doing EDM stuff, I think channel strips actually solve a problem really quickly. Hey Warren, have you tried the Abbey Road Chambers plugins by Waves? Yes, I have them. They're phenomenal. Have you used both the SonarWorks and IK Motion correction tools, and how would you consider them? I've only used the SonarWorks, and if you know, as an Academy member, we're doing a massive discount on those. So if you're not already an Academy member, please join. Yeah, we're going to do the giveaway of the 1173 around Christmas time, so that's going to be fantastic. If you do regular sessions, your studio community concerned about zoning, well, it really depends. It's like, this is a personal studio. I don't open it up to the public. So you just got to be careful. If you're going to have like trucks sitting outside your house and you're going to be doing work on like multiple things, then yes, it can be an issue. But if it's your personal studio where I'm spending most of my time, nobody can say you can't have a personal studio. Just you can't have, I have other studios. I have Harmony, which is, completely different things. So it really depends. You just got to be careful with that kind of stuff. Planning to join, seeing what Friday holds. Would like, yes. More love for Slate or Mac DS Please subscription. I'm a huge fan of everybody's plugins. There's so many great things out there. Do the old ADAT machines convert to sound up to modern ones like the Audience? I think the latest chips are the latest chips. They're just better. These little cheap, like, look, I always talk about having them. Look, here's what we're tracking through a lot of the time. So, I know I can't always pick things up because they're plugged in, but this is sort of a reality. Now, I also have, the Pad 2, the QES, which is sitting down there. Hopefully you guys can see it. There it is. There's the Pad 2. So we have a ton of, really nice stuff, and I don't have a problem moving between pieces of equipment. I don't have a problem using the Audient and then coming back and using, my Lynx, my Apogees, my Pad 2, the QES. They're all absolutely fantastic. I also have the Apogee, an old purple Apogee that I track drums through because I love the sound of it. It's really, that's what it's all about. I mean, I don't I don't see any of those things as negatives. Okay, I see we have 193 people here. 193 people, 193 likes, but 348 watching. So please hit that like button. I haven't tried any stam stuff yet. I'm excited to try it. I like the owner. We have to connect on some stuff, and it will be really exciting to do some stuff. See the Thunderbolt Claret 2 pre-logic with Smart Pro in front of it. Yeah, I mean, I have some Focusrite stuff as well. I mean, just so you know, one of I get asked about this a lot, about lots of different pieces of gear. The reason why you'll see me, thanks, Short. Yes, please like and subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, I think there are people actually watching who probably haven't subscribed yet. Please hit that subscribe button. That would be absolutely amazing. Please subscribe. I think one of the things that's really important is the reason why I work with certain companies, and like, you know, is because I have to love the product. You know, I really have to love what they make, but then I have to be honest, there's a lot of really good things. There's lots of great plugins all over the place. There's lots of great hardware. So the reason why we talk about Audient a lot, and we're not always like the first to review it and all this kind of stuff. We just use it. And we talk about it in the video and we use it. I like the mic pre's. I think the mic pre's that are built in it have a really good sound. I think that they are fantastic sounding. And so I can stand behind it. They're very competitive. We're in the same price range as other people like Focusrite and stuff. But the reason why we favor Audient is because it sounds good and because they're easy to deal with. And what I want to do is, the last thing I want to do is recommend something, and then if it breaks, you're spending like weeks or months or whatever trying to get a replacement and trying to deal with the customer service and the support. That is another major reason. It may go unsaid, but you'll notice there's been a few companies I have stopped. Oh, thank you, Kyle Level. I really appreciate it. You just bought me a coffee. There's a couple of companies I've stopped working with purely and simply because when we had problems with stuff, there was no customer service on it. And I'm not going to recommend something to you en masse that if it breaks, you can't get it replaced. There's one particular headphone company I work with. It took me 3 months to get them to acknowledge me. And I was like, this is so insane. I've got a YouTube channel and a presence, and I have like these gold platinum records, and I couldn't get a response. So how am I going to recommend to you to use their headphones? You know what I mean? It's like, that's the sort of world we're in. So for me, it's like, it's all about what is great and what is fantastic in the world that we live in. Is there's so much incredible gear out there that if we're talking about it, it's because of the whole package. We're talking about it because they make something fantastic, but they also look after people on the back end. That's really important. And you know, it's really important. Anyway, absolutely. Customer service is everything, says Wesley. Audient customer service is excellent. See? Taking my ID22 for service there later. Thank you, the Neil Q. I really appreciate it. This is amazing. Everybody that's buying us coffee here and lunch is very appreciated. Best mic without spending thousands. Plan to use it for vocals. You know, Wes, it's for me, we have to look at the the Lewitt range, and I'm not sponsored by a couple of these other companies, but I'll talk about them. Roswell, you know, Roswell do great stuff. Yeah, Rode do great stuff. I think if you're in Australia, I mean, there is nobody better to buy from, you know, because, you know, you have the Australian weighting and stuff. Yeah, the Lewitt 440 Pure is incredible. I like Audio Technica as well. I don't actually have much of their stuff. I think they have a hard time establishing over here in America. You know, I don't think they've got quite the support that they deserve, you know. But I do like what they do. But Lewitt, to me, and Roswell have really done wonderful things. Matt McGlynn, as you know, is a really great guy who's supported our community massively. His website, Recording Hacks. For the guys like Jeff McDonald's on here that really love this stuff, like Jeff's amazing. You know, Jeff is really into like building equipment and stuff. He's probably on Recording Hacks all the time and knows everything that they do. If you're into that kind of stuff, go and check out Recording Hacks. When Matt has come on our show and talked to you all, he's always been very complimentary about good stuff and not dismissive and kept it positive. When he chose like 10 microphones, he had a Lewitt in there. You know, it's like, and these companies are supposedly, you know, quote unquote competitors. But, you know, the UK Sound 176 is just my 1176 put into its a unit. So I don't get any money from it whatsoever, but it is my idea. After a song is released, how do you notify the public? Are you going to general press release? We don't do a general press release. That's why we have social media. You know, I find that press agents are expensive and can't really guarantee any results. You're better off building your own social media presence and working that way. What is better, Virtual Mic System, Slate VMS, or IK Multimedia Mic Room? Virtual Mic System. I haven't done that direct comparison, so I can't honestly tell you. In 3 minutes, we're going to do another giveaway of a year's membership for the Academy. And then on the last one, we'll give away, thank you, Peter. We'll give away, thank you for everybody that's buying lunch now. This is really amazing. Really fantastic. I think I'm sort of trying to think of another course to give away. I think, you know what, we'll do an ultimate rock bundle on the last one. That's pretty huge. You got 364 people watching. If you want to stay to the end, we'll give away the ultimate rock bundle as well. Hopefully Matt's listening. Thanks, Dougie. What usage terms for stay? You can use them any way you like, Doug. When it's stuff that I produced or co-wrote, or in this case, come out on my label and an artist I manage, just name check the artist first and produce like a pro second. That's all I ask when it comes to that stuff. We've only had 2 artists give us any kind of issues after the fact. They've changed their mind. Everything that we have 40 multi-tracks plus in the Academy, plus all the ones that we've given away for free online and Produce Like a Pro. And if they've been given away, you can use them in your portfolio. Just please be sure to name check Produce Like a Pro, and of course, most importantly, the artist. You're very welcome, Doug. Yeah, just credits all that people ask for, and links if you can. If you can link to the artist and link to Produce Like a Pro, that's amazing. Links are really important. Hey, Clay. Thank you, Clay. That's so amazing of you. I really appreciate it. You love your Townsend. I really want to try it out. I would love to try it out. I'm a big fan of the people. They've always been really, really gracious to us. You know, they've been really, really gracious. So I definitely want to try it out. Super lucky to have such a great resource and all these great people. Yes, I agree, Alex. It's really good. It's, you know, but remember, it's all about you. The more, like Computers for any personal tips on file management. Yeah, use external drives for all your work. Use external drives. Simple as that. External drives. So let's remember, the more that you do, Alex, the more that you post about us, the more you talk about us, the stronger our community grows. So for all of you watching, if you repost this, if you like it, you subscribe to the channel, you are growing our community. This community, which is flying in the face of reason, this community where it's a bunch of guys and girls who don't troll each other, who support each other. I mean, the trolls stick out like a sore thumb, don't they? It's like everybody in this community is incredibly supportive. It is insane how much everybody helps each other out as well. I've had other people tell me that their communities are supportive, and then I go in there and they're all like arguing about plugins and EQs and compressors. We don't have any time for that. Yes, you can buy SSDs and have them, but well, I mean, we've had so many people. People are really nice to me, says David in the Academy. It's a tight ship. EQ before compression. Yes, if you like the sound of it. Brain Free said, Troll Lives Matter. Yeah, they do. They've got lots of other places they can go to. Yes, we keep it very positive. We don't have any time. I talk about this channel academy with fellow artists all the time. A lot of them, and I want to go DO wrote more and more. Thank you, Wesley. Sometimes I feel 16-bit 41 sounds better than more in your face than 24-bit. Any thoughts? Don't have an opinion on that. It might be a grainier sound. I mean, like 8-bit sounds amazing. 8-bit sound amazing. Does it sound hi-fi? No. But does it sound cool and crunchy? Yes. So I think that that's probably what you're touching on. Like if you go to 4 or 8-bit on a sound, it's like, it's really cool. If I joined and shared work, is it constructive, critical environment? Yes, it is, Doug. Very constructive. There's so many great people on here that you can talk to, Doug. Can you explain how to convert stereo to MS and back again, please? I would never convert it to MS and then back again. I stay away from it. I stay away from MS techniques. I might do that. I might use a plugin which uses some widening, but I never use it on my master bus. I don't like what it does, and it really freaks out mastering engineers if it's overdone. So be very careful. If you're finding yourself using plugins for MS all the time, if you're finding that you're having to do that, then probably what's happening is mid-side. You should get into your panning, figure out what's going on in your panning, and create space that way. Create depth with reverb and delays. If you're reaching for an MS technique, for mid-side, then you've probably got other things going on, other issues. Because when I walk into a studio and I'm widening makes me feel dizzy as well. Hey, Adam. I convert to MS and drop the bass on the sides, and I'm not big on bass on the sides. I mean, that's cool that you do that. That just doesn't work for me. The problem is then if you're going to go into a situation in a store where they are summing stuff to mono, your bass will disappear out of your mix. Not everybody's always in the best. When would I use mid-side? I might use a plugin that uses it lightly on a keyboard sound if I'm trying to get a synth pad to be out of the way of the middle. That's usually the only times I ever use it. Hey, Devon, let's say need pre-plugin, negative effects by DA and interfaces pass. When using, I say, a nice improvement, is there negative effects by the DAWs? I don't think so, no. Vinyl cutting engineers. Oh, yeah, vinyl cutting engineers will hate you if you use a lot of mid-side. That would be horrible. Thank you. Amazing part of the community and find people collaborate. Yeah, that's the other thing, as Mark is saying, there's tons of people in the academy you can collaborate with as well, Doug. So basically, there's a lot of musicians in there, and people collaborate, and they take the multi-tracks and they recut them. Because remember, it's produced like a pro. It's not just another one of those mixing academies where it's just mix, 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 mix. There's a ton of mixing in there, but there's a ton of production stuff in there. That's what it's all about, yeah. How can you submit a question for Fact Finder, Christian? I mean, typically we just put it underneath the video, and you'll get it on there. Hey, so if you haven't already, please hit that like button. I see we have 349 people watching. To make this community grow and keep it as supportive and as wonderful as possible, Adam says he stays away from MS mid-side. I agree. By the way, I just refreshed my browser and the focus got so much better on the camera. So for those that were complaining about the thing, just try refreshing your browser. That's amazing how much better it looks now. So 351 people watching. Please hit that like. I'd really, really appreciate it. And share if you can. As everybody's pointing out, this community is unbelievably supportive, but it's because of the amazing people that we bring into it. So let's help bring in more people. Okay, so now we're going to do another giveaway. So we're giving away. I'm looking focus. Okay, great. So now let's do another giveaway. We're going to give away a year, adaptive streaming, nice. We're going to give away a year's membership of the Academy. So stick around, 367 people watching, a year's membership of the Academy. So you're going to get all the Academy stuff we've been talking about here. You're going to get to join an amazingly supportive group. So please, I'm just using my laptop because the main computer in here is being utilized for something else at the moment. I couldn't use it. So I'm using my MacBook Air camera, so that's probably why it's a little you know. Anyway, so so what was I saying? So getting back to the so we're going to do a giveaway of a year's membership of the Academy, and if you stick around to the end, we're also going to give away the Ultimate Rock Bundle, which has got Bob Marlette and Auric Wilde and Cameron Webb all in it, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. Herb, please stay around. Ears only. We're doing Big Black Friday. I'll be coming out tomorrow and Friday. So if you're all on the email list. If you're not on the email list and you want to join the Academy, make sure to go to Produce Like a Pro and sign up. Please hit that like button. Let's do another question. What do we want to know about each other? You know what? I want to do this again. What IO do you use? We've been talking a lot earlier about IOs. We talked about the audience, the ID14, which we have over here, and the fact that we just tried out the ID44, and we're doing a video with it. It's going to be up very soon. Plus, I have an old Apogee. I have some 192s. I have a Lavery, and of course, I have the Pad 2 by QES. You know, I have all of this stuff. What do you use? And yes, we are going to be trying out some UAD stuff. So you have Focusrites, Apollos, Behringer, RME, Alesis, Focusrite, audience, lots of audience there, great. More audience, fantastic. Another audience, ID4, more audience, great. Oh, it's nice to see this. This has changed considerably. About a year ago when I asked this question, we got maybe 1 or 2 audience. Now we got a ton of them. That's great. ID22s, good for them. Lots of UA, Dynamic Audio, a Motu, Behringer, another Focusrite. Somebody's waiting for their ID4 to be delivered. More Focusrite. What's a Soundcraft maker? I haven't tried that yet. Motu, Apogee, Native Instruments. Oh yeah, I can't forget about IK's thing as well. And if you and remember to, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Remember to hit that like button. Discrete 8 from Antelope. Hello, Victor. Presonus, Tascam, Steinberg from Henrik. Tessa says, I don't have one at the moment. I'm trying to set up my own recording studio. Well, Tessa, are you in the Academy? You're going to get a lot of advice in the Academy if you ask questions in there. RME, Motor, Audience has a dim button so I know where the tea is ready. Nice. Apogee Duet, Alan Heath. Renata says Devon, Dane, Focusrite, setting one up, at least get a 16 IO. Centrus Mixerface, RF4. 361 people watching. Please hit that like button. And if you haven't already, remember to subscribe. Congratulations, Kesamik. You set up your toolbar and pull out the appropriate tool for the need. Very well put, Douglas. We were just asked about the Academy from Stiam. The Academy members, you want to talk about how do you win? You just answer the question and then you're picked at random. You're picked at random. Oh, yeah. I can't pronounce you. Kresimir? What nationality are you? My wife's Polish. She's Katarzyna Bukowiecki. I'm sure she can pronounce your name. Fergus Sullivan. Hey, Fergus. How would you go about using the CLA vocal as a compression, reverb, blah, 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 strength? I put it straight on the track, and I use it only really for backgrounds. I don't use it for lead vocals. I'm a lot more surgical on my lead vocals. Neil said, can you speak Polish? I want to say tak, which means yes, but no, I can't. I understand some words. Polish women are beautiful women, yes. Clapton Unplugged, thank you. Well, I have an artist coming in at 12. Alex says, what does glue really mean in a mix? Glue means just like when stuff blends together beautifully, usually in the low end, or it's smooth on the high end, but in a positive way. Because there's stodgy, low mids, low end. Thank you, Daniel Picard. Says it's a great community and academy. Give us a major scale sweep. Okay, so so glue, I think, it can be good, it can be bad. You know what I mean? It's not always absolutely amazing. But I like it for like when I want my mix to have like good like low mids and low end and be tough sounding, you know. Sample rate wars, I think just sample at the best, just use the best sample rate you possibly can. But remember, your CPU is not going to like you if you've got 1,000 plugins running at 88.2 or something like that. I think that's why a lot of people still work at 48. But remember, what's happening is the requirements are going up. So you're going to get, if you've got stuff for labels, they're going to start asking for 96 and 192. Do you have time to play in a band these days? No, I don't play in a band. But, you know, I've been asked quite a few times about it. Do I look ahead option and compress have an impact on side chaining? Yeah, but the look ahead allows that attack and release time to be absolutely perfect. That's the idea of a look ahead, is that I can see, you know, remember a look ahead compressor, I had one for years from the BBC, the 1204, CL1204. What happens with that is it delays the signal very slightly. So all it's doing is delaying it so that it reads the attack and release, but it applies it earlier. So that's all a look ahead will do. And you can create that yourself. So what you could do is you could take a vocal track, for instance, copy it down, move it forward, move it earlier, and then sidechain that to the vocal. Does that make sense? And then you'll get the best attack and release time you've ever had. Heavens, why would the labels want to demand 96K? Because they're trying to future-proof themselves. Because, you know, film and TV is working at a much higher rate than we are. And we're sort of, you know, falling behind. So that's why they're just future-proofing themselves. Okay. Do you collaborate with members much? I know you have a lot going on. I try to. You should make a Queen tribute band. That would be fun. I don't think I have time to. I just don't think I have time. It's as simple as that. I mean, I'm married with 2 kids. Do I miss England at all? I mean, I go back to England a lot. I mean, next year we're going to be in France twice. We're going to Europe for a while. We're going to go to England and Poland and Greece and Italy. I'm going to be in Germany twice. I mean, we travel a lot. Yeah, we travel a lot. I mean, this is a worldwide community. So we're going to do a masterclass in Germany. So if you're an Academy member, watch out for that. I'm going to Germany for an event that I can't talk about. And I'm also going to be at Super Booth. I mean, there's a lot going on. This is an international community. I'm based in America. We have a large audience here. We love working in America, but also Europe in general is amazing, and all the rest of the world as well. So yeah, go all over the place. Time is so difficult to manage. Some people get bored. Not fair. I don't know how to get bored. I wouldn't know what bored is. It's a bit of multi-band, moderate multi. Yep. I'm going to Germany twice. Are you talking about the Brexit? Well, I have a green card, so I can move around freely in America, of course, because I live and work here. I employ Americans. I have a business here, but of course, you know, I'm European as well, and I have a British passport. So, yeah, it's just going to be the same as traveling how I would have anyway. Do you still want loud mixes, or do you use loudness more to style rather than necessity? I mean, I make my mixes loud, but I'm not like doing EDM, so I don't do like these massive. Is Music Messa going on next year, Peter? Rumor has it is Germans know how to make a good microphone. Yeah, they certainly do. Best electronic kit. I don't know. I don't have a. What time do you stop working? 8 till 17. I work a lot. Music production and family are a tough mix. No pun intended. Yes, they're a lot of work. Do you ever use old tape machine anymore? Yes, but not as often as I used to. What do I think of Bohemian Rhapsody? Loved it. Absolutely loved it. What's not to love about that movie? I mean, do I care? They messed with the timeline a little bit to make a really interesting movie. No. I think it was a beautiful movie talking about a guy that was insanely talented that overcame a lot of adversity to become the greatest rock singer and performer that ever lived. So, and what's most important about it was the number one movie, has been the number one movie in the world for 2 weeks. And it's about beautiful music and an amazing performer and an incredible talent. And so, the critics don't like it, but that's been Queen their whole lives. Queen were what real people like us loved. Yes, you can watch it afterwards, Alistair. Real people like us, like Queen, critics slam them. So, that's the difference. You know what I mean? I'm all about like real people. I like people that love music. I don't have to listen to somebody going, a friend of mine said to me, oh, I'd much rather see a documentary than a movie. It's like, yes, but the movie's made so that millions and millions of people can watch it. There's already an amazing Queen documentary, which millions and millions of people don't. Would I play in the Platt movie? Who would play you in the Platt movie? Play me. Oh, who knows? That's funny. Yeah, critics schmitics. Yeah. Again, it's like it's why people get so out. Why we have huge Rory Gallagher fans. Huge Rory Gallagher fan. David Tennant. I think he's older than me. Vince Vaughn. We'd have to have a younger, new, improved version of me. I saw it twice as well. I saw the movie twice as well. Go check out the movie. Adam Ant. I used to get that when I was a kid. Guitarist face, yeah. So, do you love... how are you? I'm fantastic, Alexa. Thank you very much. So what was I going to say? I think that music always wins. Great music always wins. Yeah, I cried. I cried twice. It's a big deal for me. I think that I have a lot of emotions associated with it because they were my favorite band, and they were are my favorite band. And my dad bought me A Night at the Opera for Christmas. I mean, what else can you do? What are some good cheap analog consoles? Huge fan of Attack. The Scorpion is fantastic. I mean, it's super inexpensive. One of our Academy members, Scotty, just bought one for $350. Who would you want to play? Who would I want me to play me in the movie? Yeah, we all love Queen. Real people like Queen, critics don't. Who cares about the critics? Warren, do you program your own synth sounds? Yes, I do. I have a great time. Do you have any tips for latency reduction in Pro Tools? Yeah, you just have to play around the settings so it runs smooth. Go in there and change the hardware buffer until it feels good. You adore Queen. Yeah, you can buy Midas consoles super cheap. TAC eBay prices are about to skyrocket. They did actually last time we talked about this. Can you talk a bit more about the H3000 print vocoding tricks? Do you use any additional processing on these tracks? No, I don't use any additional processing. Any fanboy moments for you? Who was it? I came out of the Grove years ago, out of the movie theater, and Brian May was standing there with his son, I believe, and I was too nervous to say hello. That's a fanboy moment for me. I've met Stan Lee, a little bit of a fan, couldn't take a photograph with him. I felt, Eric Idle plays me. Yeah, Eric Idle younger. You know, yeah, I think for me, that's you know, I was talking to Lem. Lem, are you here? About, you know, interviewing Brian May, and the thing is, I'm a huge fan, and I don't want to come across as too sycophantic, so we'll see. I'd freak out if I saw Brian May too. Yeah, I just wasn't so much like freaked out. I just was like a little overwhelmed, and I'm like, I'm not going to go up and disturb him when he's with his son and he's got a day out, you know. Stanley Jordan's fantastic, very Django. Oh yeah. I love Yamaha guitars. I am going to do something about people distributing. Yeah, definitely. What's your main income? Recording and mixing, combination of everything. You know, I have an artist coming in 8 minutes. Let's do our last giveaway. Who I'm producing, engineering, mixing the whole thing. Now we have, thank you, Fabio Manussi, just paid. Academy. So if you're not already an Academy member, please, 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 check it out. Tomorrow and Black Friday, we're going to do the Black Friday deals. So you're going to get an amazing deal. Okay, everybody, it's 356 people watching. You all rock. 306 likes. Can we make that 56 likes? Could we also share, and just because this is an incredible community, and we're going to do our last giveaway. And this giveaway is going to be for a 3 years membership. Also, yes, I have tried the 8040s. They're amazing. Scotty says he's listening as he installs the Scorpion. There you go. So this is for a 3 years membership to the Academy. If you don't win it, remember tomorrow you can, you know, tomorrow and Friday, look out for the email. If you're not on the email list, sign up for the email list. Go to producelikeapro.com. All the Black Friday deals and everything we do is going to be insane as usual. Lots of insanity on that. Isn't that the thing about Black Friday? And you'll be able to join. We're doing lifetime memberships for people that aren't already lifetime members. We can do that. We're going to do the everything bundle and everything that Pro Mix Academy does. We got some tons of great stuff coming out. All of that. Okay, so what do I need to know? This is to win the Ultimate Rock Bundle, which is Cameron Webb and Bob Marlette and Auric Wild, all of their courses, and there's lots of them, and a year's membership. And I want to know, we did IOs. And all right, what's your main microphone? What is your go-to microphone? Is it a condenser? Is it a dynamic? It doesn't matter. What is it? Is it a 57? Is it a Lewitt 440 Pure? Is it a Rode NT1? What is your go-to microphone? What is it? What is your go-to microphone? That's what I want to know. Let me know what your go-to microphone is. Oh, I don't know, Brett. It's okay. I think because what happens is YouTube pushes us, and some people click on it and they don't know what it is. Well, SM57s, NT1s, U87, nice go-to microphone. A warm Slate, no mic yet, which is also eligible for 14. Logic Pro, NT1, Audio Technica, 57, Lewitt, LCT 840. Beautiful mic. C3000, I haven't seen that in a few years. Sennheiser, NT1, 414, 57. And remember, you can still enter. There's 362 of you on here. You can enter just by saying, I don't have a mic, or I don't have a go-to one. You don't. Thomann MXL 2006, Lewitt LCT 440 Pure, REA R84, nice. So if you don't have a microphone, you can still enter to win a year's membership of the Academy. I haven't tried the soft tube console yet. Love the mic part stuff. Audio Technica. I got some SonarWorks measurement mic too. Nice. Don't have my go-to yet. That's okay. That's Sennheiser 954, Lewitt 640 TS. Clayton says my phone. Depends on what I'm recording. Good answer. I mean, is there one that you prefer? Don't have any good mics. That's fine. Oh, Mini K47, the Roswell, of course. NT1. I tried the new Slate Air EQ. Not yet. Cup and string, says Dave. Used to have the old match set of KM84s. What year is the Yamaha LL16? It's about 3 years old. A Radial DI. I know, it is great to see what people love. Paul says Lewitt, Cascade Fathead. Way, C12. Wow, Alexa. That's rather, you're rather lucky. Okay, so not hardly, Clint McLean. Converted Celestian speaker, nice. Got a newly Reslo ribbon for Christmas, C1. A lot of people use 57s. Well, we had, when we were, we got 2 more minutes left. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe and share and all that kind of good stuff. So the, what was I going to say? So the other thing, when we were at in Nashville, and I know a lot of the Academy members know this, but when we were in Nashville, we did a shootout of, I believe it was either 12 or 13 mics, of which a 251, a U47, 67, 87, Warm 87, Slate, all of these different microphones in there. And the only mic that came in everybody's top 3 or 4 was the SM7. The U47 won out overall as the #1 for the most amount of people. But the actual next microphone that was always in the top 4 was the SM7. Is my client on time? Yesterday, he was 10 minutes early when we were online. Have I ever met Leland Sklar? Yeah, I've recorded Leland. If you haven't already, you know, you can download the charity mix. Does everybody not know that? We did a song with Dick Wagner for St. Jude's charity, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. We've already sent them, I could be wrong, but about $10,000. I know we sent originally about $7,000 on the first month that we sold it, and I probably a few thousand there. We're close to. We've already close to donated about $10,000 because of everybody here that's buying it. But you can buy the St. Jude's charity course. There he is at 11:59, just finishing up live. I was saying, they were like, "Is he here?"
I'm really punctual.
You're very punctual, and no, it's not David. It's Luke. And what was I saying? Yeah, so Leland Sklar played based on it. So pretty amazing. So if you want, you can download that and you can mix Leland Sklar. It's the St. Jude's charity one, and you're giving, all the profits, which are, pretty darn good. All the money is going to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. We've already been donating quite a lot of money, so thank you everybody that's done that. Okay, have a marvelous time. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everybody. I hope you're all doing marvelously well, and thank you for watching. 349 likes. That's amazing. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. It'd be lovely if you subscribed. Luke, says Brett, with lots of U's. Luke, use the force. Cheers. Thank you. Have a fun day. You all rock. Talk to you all again very, very soon. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing. Thanks. Bye.